knowing it's not frozen when Chad moves. Yeah, because Dave just stares.
Just blankly stare.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're looking at the screen and shit. It just looks kind of funny. But anyway, so we good now?
We're good. Back to 31.
Back to 31. So that's so that's my number 3 is 31. You all talk what you like about 31, how you feel about it. Since we're talking about it.
I thought it was just like it was a really good movie because it had just like the killing scenes were brutal. And then whenever fucking Doomhead is like takes off his little fucking like shirt and his jacket and whips out his fucking switchblades and then chases dude down on that fucking little like bridge thing. That part right there, like as soon as you see him coming, you're like, this motherfucker's crazy. Like I don't even know, like I give the dude some credit for trying to stick up there and fight with him, but then he just got stuck like a pig like 10 times.
Yeah.
That scene always fucking stuck in my head. And so and like you said, the little Nazi midget guy,
Spanish Nazi midget, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
which is even better, and he's kind of a clown. So
yeah,
which I also got to throw out there. Like I said, it's everything that would be a Rob Zombie movie, all rolled into one. And it looks like if you opened up Astro Creep 2000 from back to the White Zombie days, it kind of makes you. Always makes me think of like if that shit came to life and when it was on movie. That's so yeah. I love that.
Fucking going to how Rob doesn't know how to end a film.
But that was something else. Yeah,
pisses me the fuck off. I just want to see them two throw down in the middle of the street.
Yep.
And then it's over. And you're like, what the fuck? But I do give like all those crazy fucks respect for whenever the timer goes out, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Like they own up to their shit. And
yeah.
He's so pissed off. Like at the end, he's like, "Fuck."
that is kind of funny, but at the same point, it's like you kind of want to see more happen, and that's the movie that I was kind of thinking of. That was just like, God, dude, endings, please, something. At least if he could just team up with somebody for an ending, just on endings, have somebody just be like, hey, look, Rob, admit to yourself you can't come up with fucking endings. Hire somebody for only the endings.
Because everything else is great. Like whenever they fucking like are having that feast or whatever, and they find out it's their fucking one homeboy and all that shit, like that shit's great. And then the fucking twins come out with the chainsaws talking shit, dressed up like clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like he has great ideas, but and it's good to make your audience wanting more, but you still have to have an ending. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's my biggest issue for the most part. But it comes down to his shit.
Because that was a really good movie.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit
of you all agree.
Yeah, totally. Like there was a little bit of that social commentary, I think, that also didn't go anywhere with the rich and the middle class.
Yeah.
Because there's been other movies like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like battle royale type shit kind of movie, like, you know what I mean? That Stone Cold fucking movie.
I mean, even down to movies like Hostel, rich people fucking, causing some type of like pain towards people, just because they like it and because they're bored and they need something to do. And characters, dude. That's one thing I do love about Rob Zombie. His characters are fun. He really has some good ones, down to the fucking Nazi Doomhead. I mean, fuck even Captain Spaulding and all that shit.
Even like Malcolm McDowell and them, whenever they're like doing like the whole like British thing from like the 40s and 50s and shit, and then all the other bitches just walking around the house naked.
Yeah, like I mean, what's not to love?
Right.
Except the ending.
Yeah.
And the fact that the ending. One other thing about that movie that pisses me off about that ending is I hate Aerosmith with a fucking passion. Okay, there's like maybe like two or three songs. There are multiple songs from back in the day that I actually fucking like. Okay, the old shit. All right, but I still can't stand that fucking band really. And then they put the fucking one song that I have heard so goddamn much in my whole fucking life. Because isn't it Dream On?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I never want to hear that fucking song again, okay? I don't want to see it on a fucking movie. I don't want to see it on fucking TV shows. I don't want to see it on a fucking commercial, okay? I don't want to fucking hear it at all. I just want to I want blood, murder, play some fucking Slayer, or play fucking Lynyrd Skynyrd. I don't give a fuck. But no, Aerosmith and a better ending. Thank you.
I agree.
I agree.
Did you all say that was your all's number 2?
Yeah, that was our number 2. I didn't know that was your number 2, though.
That's
We
funny.
actually didn't ask each other what our picks were for tonight. We went in this one blind.
So no, it's more fun that way, if you ask me.
That's what I keep telling you, but then we always end up. The problem is, like, usually I'd be watching something that's like episode required for the evening, and then he'll start fucking throwing his picks around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're there like hanging out and shit, like that makes sense.
yeah.
You know. But yeah,
And then
I'm glad it was y'all's number 2 though.
And, then we're watching another movie, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should change it to this one. Maybe I should change it to that one. Then I start second guessing myself.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of you, Rob. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been that song from Armageddon.
Oh fuck.
Don't do that. We're not going to do that. We're not. I can't help that. Shut the fuck up.
God,
fuck you,
that song
Aerosmith.
used to be played all the time, no
You-
matter what, no matter where you
I hear
were.
that shit at work still.
Oh,
You know what?
God.
Not even so much fuck the band. Fuck Steven Tyler. He's horrible to look at. I can't stand his fucking voice.
Dude,
And I hate his little
fucking
fucking scarves. So, you know, fuck that shit.
Walk
My
This
happy
Way
boy.
was-
the Run DMC version.
Oh yeah.
I'll go with that. I mean, come on, it's Run DMC. But yeah, it's like out of all the songs, because I just think Dream On is just like so overplayed. And now where I come from here in Kentucky, we have a radio station called Double Q that plays all the old school rock and heavy metal hits, you know, Ozzy and AC/DC and Aerosmith and all that shit. And just about the only goddamn song they fucking play is Dream On, next to Janie's Got a Gun. And frankly, both of them make me want to fucking like wreck when I have to change the station, because one's really fucking depressing. I don't want to hear it. And the other one just like, well, again, pisses me the fuck off. I can't do it. Can't fucking do it. Put my foot down. I'm against Aerosmith. Fuck Aerosmith. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'm sober. Okay. This is Gatorade tonight. All right. Not no liquor, no beer, no nothing.
I've been drinking
So-
water all day.
I was too till I went out and got some.
I'm getting high off that Mountain Dew.
Oh shit, that's coming later. This wasn't like hot
He's all
cold yet.
jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Well, that's crazy. That's both our number 2. So I guess any final thoughts on 31?
It's a good one. It's underrated
It's a great
It's-
movie
it's-
till the end.
Yeah.
till the end. Fuck that ending.
All right. So well, Chuck, keep going. What's your number
All right.
2 now?
All right, then here we go. Now my number 2.
37
31.
in a row.
Or 37. What? Oh, Clerks. Don't suck any dicks on your way to the fucking parking lot. All right. So my number 2 is a movie that it took me a couple watches to realize how much I actually loved it. A movie that gets a lot of shit because,
Alright,
again,
Oh, you're gonna-
you know exactly what I'm going to fucking say. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite fucking movies, my number 2, Lords of Salem.
That was almost my number 3.
I
Glad
love
I
this
didn't
movie. When it came out, I did not see a trailer. I heard about it, and I was like, "Fuck it, it's Rob Zombie. It can't be that bad. I'll buy it." So I bought it without ever watching it. And me and my stepdad and one of my best friends had the speakers for my laptop all hooked up, and we sat outside in the garage and like chain smoked and drank a little bit and gave us a watch. I fell asleep in my chair like this, like the last like 10 minutes of the movie. And when I woke up, they were both sitting there like this. And I was like, shit. I was like, I missed that last little bit. I was like, we got to go back and watch it. And they're like, no, you don't want to. I was like, no, I need to finish watching this movie. And so I made them sit through the ending again. And I was like, oh, wow, this fucking, I don't know what to fucking think about this. And I watched it. I had a couple of friends, my buddy Whitman, we do Graveyard Talk whenever we get a chance to do the shows on that. And he was the one that was like, dude, I love that fucking movie. And I watched it again and I was like, all right, it's growing on me. And then I kept watching it because I really just like, I knew it was right there. And then finally it was like, I love it. It's a good, it's a good story about some DJs, and one of them, Sherry Moon Zombie, who I think she does a pretty good job in this. She's got some issues with addiction, which they like to make that a thing in the movie. And a record gets sent called Lords of Salem. Right? Isn't it called Lords of Salem?
I don't know, but I know it came in a wooden box.
Yeah. It was a weird little thing. And they play it on the air. And when they play this record on the air, I mean, it sounds fucking wicked. And it sounds like a Rob Zombie song. But it sounds fucking killer. I love it. It's very doomy. Very fantastic, amazing. But when they play it, all the women that are listening to it, it shows it cuts to different places and all that shit. And it's showing these women who are just mesmerized by the song. Sherry Moon Zombie ends up getting mesmerized by the song, and they end up turning it off, and and she's like, "Oh, what?" And basically, it's kind of just making all the witches around Salem know that some shit's getting ready to go down. And Ken Faree is good in this movie. The dude that's playing Herman Munster, who was also in 31, he's in this. His character really annoys me, like pretty bad. And you can't forget. How do I forget his fucking name? Bruce Davison. Bruce Dickinson. That'd be a fun movie. But Bruce Davidson, he's been in a shit ton of stuff. I mean, X-Men. He was in the Harry and the Hendersons back in the TV show. And his character's really good too, but like he plays an author that's on their stuff. That whatever. But there's some weird shit about this movie, and it was the reason why I was so weird about it at first, because I was like, how do I feel about this? There's scenes that what do we have here? We've got midget demon semen insemination or whatever, because that's supposed to be the fucking devil,
Demon
right?
semen.
It's supposed to be the devil or something. To impregnate Sherry Moon Zombie. And when I couldn't wait to see what the devil would look like, I was completely confused and bewildered. And then after I saw like the movie and I tried to figure out what he was doing, it's one thing I like about Rob Zombie is he kind of puts an old school spin. It kind of has that old, like, weird Lovecraftian kind of feel to it with the weird creatures and all that. I don't know if I would have chose the fucking like devil to look like that. And let's also not forget about the birth. Apparently the Antichrist is a lobster. Who knew? I was in shock. Still am. Weird little things about it that I like, but I also could have done something different with it. And again, last 10 minutes of the movie can suck a dick. It's not horrible, okay? The ending of this is not really horrible, but it just kind of, it goes from like here, and then it goes, it just gets weirder and weirder as it goes. And the ending is very artsy, and it's very bright. And then it's just kind of like, oh, here, we're gonna, now you have to read what happened. We're not gonna show you. You're gonna, this is why this hadn't been. There could have been a cooler ending to that. So, wasn't my favorite ending, but it wasn't my least favorite. I think we've already figured out what my least favorite is.
I've never seen that movie all the way through. I've only seen like bits and pieces. I tried watching it again the other day, and after like the first like 20 some minutes, I ended up like, it felt like an hour.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, right? It has its moments. Yeah. Cameos, man. Again, him with the cameos and shit in that movie. I mean, because Dee Wallace is in it again. Meg Foster's in it. She was also in 31. Yeah. Which, we all know her from, They Live and Masters of the Universe. With Dolph Lundgren. I'll break you. I'm trying to think who else besides, I mentioned Ken Faree and stuff, but I like it. It's fun. It's different. It's kind of like, all right, cool. And also I like witch movies. I don't think there's enough witch movies out there, really, especially ones that get enough love. So it's cool to see, the witches getting some love and then putting out more movies. And this one's one of my favorites. And also Lords of Salem just sounds cool. So yeah, that's my dose.
Nice. Yeah, again with that one, it was a big swing and didn't knock it out of the park with me, but that was probably Sherry's best performance at anything. But I still think you could have got somebody to do that. Probably did a better job. The part with the guy walking the goat. That was kind of creepy.
Her sucking the preacher's dick.
Yeah, great visuals. I mean, it's creepy. It's brutal.
He mentioned sucking dick, and he's like, "Great visuals."
Yeah.
Oh, did I? Oh, no.
Which, I mean,
no.
Which that scene is fucking just. Because she goes in the church, and she's talking to this preacher, and then he just unzips his pants, and then she just like it's nothing, and then it's like then it ends up being like a dream or something. You're just like, what? And then they really good with the sounds that she was making too. They were really good with the sound effects, there, guys, on the blowjob with the preacher. There we go.
We need to have a gagging sound effect.
Wait, we'll see if my dog will blow himself real quick because he usually gags a lot when he does that. You can hear him at the other end of the house. What? Is he okay? Okay, he's just sucking himself.
And this will be our last episode.
Thanks, Chuck.
We're already on probation.
Blowjob, rim job, pussy fart, fuck, shit. See, no one cares.
Are we still here? Good.
Again, sober. See, it's not just when I'm drunk.
So let's move on to our number ones. And I think we're all going to have the same one again.
Yeah.
The Devil's Rejects, which I feel like was a masterpiece.
I was going to say Hollywood too.
How about another round of applause for Devil's Rejects real quick? Since it is all of our number ones.
And one thing about this movie that's different than some of the others are the performances. I think by far the best out of any Rob Zombie movie, especially Forsythe.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's an evil bastard in that movie. It's great.
When you're working with a guy like that, it probably makes you step it up a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the answer too, is to have better actors too. I'm just saying collab, man. Collab, Rob.
There was a lot of people in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's honestly there's nothing wrong with that movie. In my opinion, that is a perfect movie.
I agree.
And I mean that it's again it's Rob Zombie. He has his style. You know, Forsythe is the man. Yes.
The scenes that seemed drug out were fucking entertaining.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like the whole bar scene whenever he actually goes and sees his fucking brother and all that shit.
Yeah.
They're at the whorehouse.
Fuck you,
like,
clown.
I walked out of that movie. I went to go see it, and I was just like, "Wow, that was way better than what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like way better than what it should have been." My God,
Forsythe is the man.
Look how much better this guy and his movies have gotten between Corpses and now. Wow, he's going places for sure.
He's going straight downhill.
It is really weird because I mean, because I do like Rob Zombie's movies, you can't really call him like a one-hit wonder with that. But it is. I mean, everybody. There's not too many people that I know that wouldn't have Devil's Rejects as number one. It's usually a toss-up between House and Devil's Rejects. But this movie just, and it's not your typical horror movie. You know, because the first one they went away from, you know, they did it was the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of feel and all that. And this one, you get Baby, you get Otis, and you get the amazing Captain Spaulding. And you see them a little bit more as who they are. And that's what makes it like so great, is because you're seeing them and their natural, like their element. When they're not around people they're going to kill, when they're not trying to be, you know, whatever, they're just kind of just being a weird, fucked up white trash family. And it's, I mean, you know, get the kids some fucking ice cream. You know what I mean? Tutti fucking fruity, you know, like, it's just like, it seems like that. I mean, you actually almost, you get so sucked into these characters in this movie that you almost forget how horrible of fucking individuals they really are. You know, like,
right.
You do. And it also the fact that William Forsythe, you know, he plays God, one of my favorite characters in the movie, besides the the usual suspects, because he really he's trying to avenge his brother's death and all, and you believe that William Forsythe is a fucking maniac. My mom met him at Scarefest last year, and super nice guy. See, he was a super nice guy, but he plays some vicious fucking characters, kind of like Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta was known for like playing these fucking, these mob guys, all this shit. Ray Liotta was never in a fight in his life, he always claimed. And everybody always said he's just a nice guy, but still intimidating as fuck because he was such a damn good actor. And William Forsythe is one of those guys. Ken Faree, again, another returning person in the Rob Zombie crew, playing Charlie, Captain Spaulding's brother, who fucking totally fucking just backstabs the shit out of him.
Really
God
does.
damn, man! Like that whole scene. Honestly, when I went and saw that movie in theaters, and that scene came on where they were all getting like Dom and Dallas Page and Danny Trejo were coming in there and like shooting all the girls and throwing Captain Spaulding and Baby and Otis around and shit. Like you're like, word, what's happening here right now? Like, what the fuck? But motherfucker gets his in the end. But you see how intense this character is, like William Forsythe's character. Even from the time when he's sitting in his office and he has that movie critic come in with the big mustache, and he's like, he says, "Oh, that fucking," he's bad mouthing Elvis Presley, and and Waddell, he's like, "Don't you ever?" He's like, "Fuck Groucho." He's like, "Don't ever if you ever bad mouth Elvis Aaron Presley's name in my presence again." All this shit. And it's like, damn, you are that guy. Like, I believe you. I believe you're gonna kick somebody's ass for the king.
Then you see him talking to his dead brother.
Yeah, he totally loses his fucking mind. He's supposed to be the good guy, but really he isn't. He wants to be as bad and mean as them. So there's some kind of moral thing there.
Yeah.
What could take you over? And I mean, the whole scene where he's just stapling the pictures and stuff on, and just, I mean, he's got the nails in and everything, like, right. You're like, damn, man, and like Baby's like, Daddy, all this shit. And like, it's like, wow, like this whole fucking, like, look, there's some humanity to them, but only to those three. They don't give a fuck about anybody else. Yeah. But, and of course, this is a movie where, dude, he knocks it out of the park with the ending. I mean, it's just, and honestly, and even though it's a played out fucking song, I love Lynyrd Skynyrd. Leave me alone. They were one of the greatest bands of all time. They really were one of the tightest fucking bands. Played out song, but it fits.
Right.
And just that whole shot, dude. I mean, everything with this movie is perfect. I got chills. I just love this movie. I've got a huge Devil's Rejects poster in my bedroom, dude. It takes up most of the wall. It's the whole thing. They're sitting at the fucking like Last Supper kind of deal. But
nice.
But the shot where you see that the cars coming and they know, they're like, all right, we might as well fucking, we know where this is our destiny. We're gonna go out in a hell of gunfire. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I wouldn't imagine those three dying any other way. Of course they didn't die, actually, but
oh god,
they should have.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, Devil's Rejects.
It was a perfect ending for those characters. Yeah, Flat Top and Dick Tracy also. He somehow made that character
and look at Tracy
with that voice intimidating. The only character I was actually scared of was Flat Top.
Yeah. He also played John Wayne Gacy in a movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah, Letters to Gacy. I've never seen it, but but I've wanted to see it. I just can never find it anywhere. And I really, out of all the serial killers, one of my least favorites is John Gacy. That guy was such a piece of shit. But anyway, William Forsythe, badass.
And in the Devil's Rejects, the Rob Zombie dialogue that we talked about fits
Yeah.
It fits this time. It works. It also breaks up some of the brutal scene, like in the hotel and all those like brutally violent scenes. It can kind of break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's funny, and this time it works. Everything he had like came together and worked.
Yep.
So I don't hate the guy. I want the guy to succeed.
Where am I going here?
Yeah, man.
I think
Yeah.
it says don't try clowns on the bottom of it.
And we have to. Nice. Like, and and again, the late great, Sid Haig, everybody's favorite, man. I mean, of course, we all love Otis and Baby's okay too, but Captain Spaulding, that's the one that everybody wanted to see more of because his performance in House 1000 Corpses, even though he was only in it like 4 times, 4 times, something like that. Like, he steals the fucking show.
At the end, whenever you realize he's part of the family, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Which I like. I like the fact that, like, at the end of
That was a bad ending.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad ending. It still wasn't a favorite, but it wasn't.
It was kind of cliche.
Yeah, but it also kind of went with how the movie was, though. So
Right.
I can't really hate on it too much,
Backwoods fucking town.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, but yeah, Devil's Rejects. I mean, dude, the gore and some of the scenes in that movie are brutal as fuck. I mean, they torment those people in the fucking hotel. They kill Brian Posehn. Shoot him right in the fucking head, which is like, they got the.
Oh no, Chuck! All right, is he back already?
My back.
Yeah,
You're back.
So I don't know what the fuck just happened. I got a fucking notice, but I'm good now.
Yeah.
Okay. But the whole scene where, like, when they shoot him and then when they first come in, and they're very clear on that they are not fucking around, and they hear the girl in the fucking shower, and he's like, "Who the fuck's in there?" "Oh, that's my wife." He gets up and tries. It just that always cracks me up. But you feel bad for them. These people don't really they're not really scummy people. You know what I mean? Especially when old girl that was on Three's Company, when she gets killed.
Priscilla Barnes.
Yeah. Yeah. Priscilla. Yeah. Was it two squirrels in a gunny sack or whatever the fuck about her tits? Or they say about it.
He's like, one kitty going this way and the other one going that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and also, I mean, what's his name? The guy that well, I can't. It's Juliet Lewis's dad. The guy that was like, I shook hands with Johnny Cash once.
Yeah,
that
I
guy.
can't think of his name either. I'm sitting here trying to think of it. I can't think of his name. I know you're talking.
I feel like a shithead because he was a great. I mean, he was a great actor. He was in Salem's Lot and Double Impact, and a shit ton of others. Those are just ones I remember as a kid. But I do. I mean, the brutality of like when the chick's got the fucking when they put her husband's face on her face, and then she takes off running, and then you think
that on it.
I mean, that's a brutal one. That's a real brutal one.
Then you get DDP and Danny Trejo later, the bounty hunters.
Yeah,
They were really good too, actually.
Yeah, they worked out. I met DDP when he came to Scarefest one year back when Devil's Rejects, all that shit was coming out. They had a bunch of people there, and I'd never been to a con before, any kind of thing like that. So I just thought you just went around and went to everybody, and I was an idiot because I was never really a big DDP fan at all. But whatever, he was kind of a dick. He was kind of an asshole, intimidating as fuck. And when he realized that I really wasn't a huge fan of his, he really didn't give a fuck about talking to me. It was kind of funny. Jeffrey Lewis, yeah. Corpses seems very horror based. Rejects is more action thriller. I would also call it a good old school outlaw film. The old movies like Kill Baby Kill they're not Kill Baby Kill, but like the old like biker movies and shit where they were kind of fucked up and drug oriented and really violent movies.
Yeah,
so I'd say outlaw.
Movie, it's a road movie. It's
all
around. Everything just came together with that
movie. Rob said you ever seen the deleted Dr. Satan scenes from Devil's Rejects? Yes.
Yes.
That's a pretty brutal scene.
Yeah, it actually was a really good scene, but I see why they cut it because it did
Yeah, it was
kinda-
irrelevant.
Yeah, it was irrelevant and it kind of stuck out. Yeah,
He should get away from horror movies.
that's why I was like, at first I was kind of with the Munsters. It was okay, all right.
Right.
This could be a good thing, but
Garbage.
Could be a good thing.
I hope it somehow is, but
Well, I've got my legs and fingers and toes crossed that it doesn't suck. I've been sitting like arguing with people like, oh no, I think this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. And this trailer comes out, I'm like, oh, this doesn't prove shit with me right now. I'm kind of like, kind of iffy, but whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
that usually means it's going to be bad.
yeah. Here's, you know what's funny? Actually, real quick, talking about Devil's Rejects. I got this in a double pack with Strangeland. Okay.
That's a
The
dope
funny
movie.
thing about that is
It's like it's doing it to him on purpose.
It's him like leaving us hanging. The punchline.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
hi. As I was saying, this movie right here, I got in a double pack of Strangeland, and I got it a week and a half before this was supposed to be released to buy, because somebody unpacked a bunch of the movies and placed one of them on the shelf. They even told me like, oh, that's not even supposed to be out yet, because it was the only one on there, and it was the rest of them. It was a bunch of other double packs, and that was the only one. And I was like, yeah, well, there's a price tag on it, and I want it. And I was so fucking happy too when I bought this movie, because after seeing it in theaters, and the girlfriend that I had at the time that went and saw it with me, she didn't like it was too violent for her. She didn't like how violent it was. Like when they were like when Otis was beating the shit out of that guy, you know, the whole "I'm the devil, I'm here to do the devil's work." That whole scene. Yeah. That made her about sick. She's like, "There's so much more violence in the world." I was like, "You do know what we're watching, right?"
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 thumbs up, as the cover of the movie says. Chuck Nasty says, "Check it out."
As your video store clerks, we highly recommend.
That we
Oh
do.
fuck yeah,
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects. Do we have time to go through a couple other movies of his that we haven't mentioned?
Sure.
Okay. Well, of course. I mean, anything else been said about Devil's Rejects?
Oh, there's nothing else to say.
My
Perfection.
ex was so pissed at me for the longest time for taking her to see Devil's Rejects in theaters. Yeah, women. There's some women out there that just love the fuck out of it, and those are my kind of women. And then there are women out there that are just like, it's just too violent. I don't like movies that have too much violence. I mean, I like horror movies, but I don't like a lot of blood. Blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Watch somebody get their heads bashed in. Who gives a fuck? Why do you watch these fucking movies?
Yeah, I don't know what
Mhm.
what did you expect. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There was blood on the poster. It's called The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, what are you expecting? I mean, if you saw House Thousand Corpses and then, you know, watch Devil's Rejects, you shouldn't be that, you know, shocked.
And the good thing,
Know what I mean, Vern?
another trick to like good sequels is James Cameron said, make it so they don't have to see the original
Right.
to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You can see The Devil's Rejects without watching House of a Thousand
Yeah.
Corpses.
It is true. It is. It is.
You go like you just see the cop show up at the house in the beginning, and then Otis runs down the steps screaming "shit, fuck, shit, fuck, shit,
Mhm,
fuck."
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it just starts from there.
Yeah. I love this little like cardboard case. Which actually talking about real quick. We didn't talk about the DVD edition of this movie. The menu screen is Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding, and you have to ring the bell, and he comes out and basically just harasses you till you push play. And he does every menu, and it's hilarious. And it also has the Tiny Fuck the Stunt segment, where it's just baby Otis and Captain Spaulding, and they're completely in character and everything, and they're just telling jokes that end up with the punchline being Tiny Fuck the Stunt. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Tiny.
Tiny who?
Tiny Fuck the Stunt. And it goes on for like 10 minutes, I think, or something like that. And It's pretty funny. Some of it,
DVD.
huh?
It's been a while since I've actually watched the DVD of that.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta reach for a DVD and you know feel old school instead of streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I mentioned these other two movies because we already. All right. So we've already talked about Halloween and Halloween 2. I don't think there's much more to be said about those movies, is there?
I don't think so.
Not really.
I think we got the point across earlier. We spent like 15 minutes bashing. So
Yeah.
we don't have to talk about those. But there are two more movies in the filmography of Rob Zombie that we have not discussed. And one, I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way before I get to the other one that I know there's probably going to be some talk about. This one is an animated one.
Yeah.
The Haunted World of El Super Beasto. This movie is in my collection just the same reason why Halloween 2 is. Because why not? Just have in the collection. I have all the others. It's not a horrible movie. It's like an adult version of like Ren and Stimpy. Have you all seen this one?
I haven't.
Oh, you
Neither
haven't
one.
either? Oh, okay.
Captain Spaulding's baby and Otis are in this. They make an appearance very quickly. A bunch of other monster movie guys do too, but it's about a fucking wrestler, El Super Beasto, who is a overconfident douchebag basically that makes pornos. That's how he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a womanizer. He's a pretty big moron when it comes down to it. And Sherry Moon Zombie is the sidekick in this one as well, even in a fucking cartoon. I can't remember her name in it. But I mean, there is a lot of people that are in this movie too. Let's see, Rosario Dawson. She does a voice in it. Brian Posehn on it again. Paul Giamatti plays the devil. He plays Dr. Satan. That's what it is. He plays a really goofy little version of Dr. Satan. It's ridiculous. And it's watchable. But there's not a whole lot of laugh out loud funny shit in it. But if you've got some good weed and a couple of beers, maybe, I mean, that's the only time that I'll really watch it. But yeah, you'll have to at least give this a watch. It's goofy. It really fucking is. It's not the greatest, but it's fun to watch sometimes. There's some funny parts in it, but it's not whatever. Here we go.
All right. What was the other one? Oh, of course.
3 from Hell.
Tried to forget about it.
3 from Hell.
Watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've only ever seen it like once when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. And I was kind of like, that was the only time I watched it and I was done. And I came over here and he had it on and it was going good. I was like, wow, this isn't so bad. Why do I hate this movie so much? But then the movie kept going.
Yep.
And going and going.
Mm-hmm.
And you always go back to the question you had at first when you first started watching it. Why did they even make this?
Right.
Yeah. For me, I don't hate this movie. It's not my favorite. Notice it wasn't on the fucking list for me. Unfortunately, Sid Haig was sick. He was dying. So all the scenes that he was supposed to have got cut and he had to do a bunch of rewrites. You know, that's something that just happens. Of course, we do see Sid Haig in it as Captain Spaulding for a brief second before the character is said that he dies. It was put to death. And then they bring in Otis's his cousin?
Half brother.
Okay, yeah. And it's dude that played Doomhead. I'm drawing a blank on his fucking
What's his
name.
name? Richard Bain or something?
Blake?
Richard Brake.
Brake.
Yeah. Which I think he did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Him and Otis's bantering back and forth and all that shit was pretty cool. I mean, I think he did a good job on it. And the way that they did things with him, I think was good. My biggest problem with this movie, besides again the obvious Sid Haig, unfortunately, was dying, so that was a big thing because we all wanted to see Captain Spaulding do what Captain Spaulding does.
He looked
But
bad in the beginning of that too, though. Like he was all
he,
skinny. He just did not look
yeah,
well.
yeah, he was having problems getting his lines out too. You can kind of tell,
Yeah.
But going back to Baby, this movie has at a certain point in this movie, that movie is all about her.
Yeah.
It's all about Baby for a good, God, what, half hour of this movie if you put the scenes all together.
That's what
30,
we said when
40
we
minutes.
watched it. I was like, if they would just cut all the scenes out with her, like it'd have been a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just, like the prison scenes and all that shit, like that. That's just dumb.
they could have still had some of those scenes and stuff, but they really have to fucking, like, it really was focused on her. They could have cut some of that shit down. D. Wallace playing the prison guard who's like got a weird obsession with Baby. That whole thing was kind of weird. Like, I get what they were trying to do, because she's irresistible, whatever the fuck. It was kind of stupid. I did like the scene though, where Baby, those big women, those like the bigger women come in there to kill her or whatever, and you think she's been fucking whooped, and then she's actually killed. Like that's a pretty cool scene. I can dig that. The whole thing, once again, the guy that's in 31, the guy that's in Lords of Salem, the guy playing Herman Munster, whatever the fuck his name is, he plays the prison, like the
warden or the
warden
DA or some shit.
Yeah, and he's a cokehead, which makes sense. That I don't know.
What's his name? John Daniel Phillips or some shit.
Yeah.
That sounds. Yeah, it sounds. Jeff Daniel Phillips.
Jeff Daniel.
Oh, okay.
That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Jeff
right.
Daniel Phillips on the end of that bitch.
Yeah, really. His character annoyed the fuck out of me in it for the most part. I just something about that guy. That he just in 31 he wasn't as annoying, but like Lords of Salem and in this movie, I just can't stand him. And basically, this kind of pulled the Devil's Rejects with they had people captured, held up in a room, and tormenting them, and that's pretty much what they were doing. He was one of the original cavemen from the Geico commercials. Which one?
Jeff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That makes so much fucking sense. Okay, all right.
And there was a couple scenes straight out of Devil's Rejects. There was the part when they were partying when they got to Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally ripped out of that.
The part where the bounty hunters or whatever came to get them. That was copy and paste, man.
Yeah, the mafia.
Yeah, Baby was in it way too much. I think she even has a line in the movie where she says, "I'm the fucking star."
Yeah.
Well, something like that.
Isn't far off.
And I would rather see Otis and Wolfman, whatever his name was. I'd rather see their banter back and forth.
Oh yeah, because their scenes are great. I mean, when it comes down to somebody that steals the show, and it's those guys. I think if they, I don't want them to. They need to leave these alone. Okay. Now I love trilogies. So I'm not mad that there was a third one, but they could have left it at 2 on this one. So if Rob Zombie could just never put this shot again, but if they were going to kill Baby, bring those guys back, do something with that, if that was going to be a thing. But we know that won't ever be a thing, and it probably for the best.
Yeah, because they killed Danny Trejo, and then his son wants revenge on them.
Yeah, that was just that was just so unnecessary. You're just trying to connect the two, and it just
that was so much of a reach. You need one of those little extender arms from like old people, to grab the top box off the shelf or whatever.
One scene that I thought was really funny is like when Wolfman, like when they're in Mexico and they're all partying and shit, and right when shit's getting ready to go down, like Wolfman's in there with this chick and he's all being loving with her and like all this shit, and then all of a sudden like Baby was in trouble or whatever, so like he was like he ran the fuck out of there. She got shot or whatever the fuck. The whole scene's kind of funny because I think he's trying to. They make you think he's gonna save the girl that he's been fucking for that one moment, but he's actually like, fuck it, I don't care, and then like runs off. She gets killed or some shit. Like it's just kind of funny. I'm trying to think, and they even ripped off the guy at the the soda thing, just like they did in Devil's Rejects when they got into that hotel room in the first place.
Right.
Baby goes up to a guy at a fucking soda machine, and she feels the need to take back his room and kill him or whatever the fuck they did to him. I think they dismembered him and fucked him up like they usually do or something. But it was just her that did it. I think that was the whole thing. And they're like, "What's taking so long?" Like I don't know. I can totally see these three like being related, and it'd be one of the like because like they even mentioned something else they're like, "Oh well," they're talking about like, her losing her mind and shit, and they kind of I don't know even know why they even. It's like you're all fucking crazy. Are you telling me that she's more crazy than she already was? I think not. But
yeah, they definitely had good chemistry to play the Brilla role.
Oh yeah,
Even whenever they're all tied up and shit, and they have the machete fight at the end, like he's like, "How you doing over there?" He's like, "I'm pretty sure we're fucked." And then they just kind of both started laughing.
Yeah, and I mean, and we're forgetting Bill Moseley playing Otis. I mean, just like Captain Spaulding, Otis is a favorite too. And everybody loves Otis's smart ass. So give him another smart ass to fucking argue with. It's just it's perfect. It's great. I don't know if I want to go to a family reunion with these
Whenever
three, but
whenever they're having a little banter about who's Bogart and who's Cagney.
Yeah. That's funny. Gold. Yeah, that's a good scene. That is a good scene.
You just wish that they didn't bust Baby out. And I think they would have made it farther too. I think because when they brought her in, she's the one that she's the one that wanted to go outside, get a soda. She wants to party. I'm bored.
She stabbed that bitch in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and even when they're in Mexico, she's going out and like, bitch, we're on the run.
She starts acting like Kirsten Dunst in fucking Interview with the Vampire when she starts wanting to be a woman, but she can't grow up. So she starts being a whiny little brat. Baby kind of gets that way in this movie where she's just like, well, you get my way and I'll get you there. And they're like, God, will you just stop? Like,
it's annoying after a while.
Yeah. She made that movie seem way longer than it should have been.
They could how long
longer than it should have been.
Let's see how long the running time is in this movie. The thing is, it's only an hour and 15 minutes long.
Wow. See, never. Wow. It felt like 3 hours.
No, the one I watched was unrated. It was 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You told me I don't have the unrated version?
It's not on Twitter, unfortunately.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it was. It was on one of them when it first came out.
I remember when that came out and like everybody was like so excited about it. I was pumped for it too, though.
I was too.
I like titles are everything. I mean, House Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Free from Hell. That just sounds cool to me.
He's great at titles too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. I mean, he is great at titles, but I mean, because he's got this stack of movies here. All right, that aren't all terrible. Most of them are pretty entertaining, and I love all of them, but two. And I still a fan of Rob Zombie. I still love his shit, but I think we've had to give out some of the truth tonight about our feelings towards Rob Zombie and just give him some advice from some people who have no idea what he has to probably deal with when it comes to making these fucking movies. So yeah, don't be too harsh on us. We know not what we do.
Horror fans are loyal, and we support our own always.
Yeah.
But Rob, get over yourself and listen to what other people have to say.
Yeah. Not you, Rob Stanton. Rob Zombie.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah, Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
If he's gonna watch this,
you would have thought that Danny would have got recognized, like him and Otis. But that was a weird beginning. I didn't understand that either.
That was kind of that was kind of a funny, like, how all that shit went down. Like, it's like, okay, well, he's coming in and he's doing, they fucking slaughter everybody. It's kind of a weird little thing there, but it was funny though, regardless. Might as well make werewolf women
It's
of the
worth a
SS
try.
at this point.
He never did make that
He
whole.
probably
movie.
wouldn't fuck it up though.
I heard once upon a time he was also supposed to do a remake of The Blob.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually would have loved to have seen that.
I was just
I
going to
wish he
say
would still do
would have
that.
been a lot better than Halloween. I think that
Mhm.
might have played to his strengths.
He should have did that instead
lot
of the
better.
monsters.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know honesty, because I mean, there was another movie idea that he had that I think would be really badass if he finally would do it. I can't remember what it was called, what it was going to be called, if he ever even put it out, but it was a script he was writing about. I guess it was a Canadian hockey team that was really infamous in the 70s, I think 70s or 80s. That like they were, you know, drugs and women and violence and had this whole legend surrounding them. And I was like, that sounds like that could be actually kind of cool because you're getting kind of a biopic from Rob Zombie, you know what I mean? As well as like him putting his spin on it, which is going to be even more brutal. And you also get that little bit of Halloween remake, Devil's Rejects, you know, kind of grittiness, maybe, you know,
Right.
like, and so that would have been cool to have seen. He was also supposed to make the sequel of The Crow at one point.
Oh, that's right. It was that one set in the future.
Yeah, or was it in the future or was it a Western? Because I thought it was
Yeah.
a Western.
I thought it was the future. It was like The Crow 2035 or something.
It might have been. It might have been a futuristic Western. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, see? Yeah, Michael even said it over here. Yeah. Like that would have been
Is it really
37?
37?
yeah,
Yeah, it was something like that.
that would have been interesting, but
But the Halloween
Again-
remake was such a mistake. The Halloween 2 was even worse.
mhm.
I think he would have had a lot better luck with the Blob.
I do too.
Again, I think it would have been great. I mean, that the original Blob is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, with Steve McQueen. I mean, that's a fun movie. That is a family-friendly horror film that is fun. I used to watch it
one
all
that
the time.
came out in '88, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin Dillon.
Wasn't bad. That actually wasn't
Yeah.
bad at all. That was one of the
For
better
real,
ones.
37.
that's
Oh, is
funny.
it for real? 37? Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched that one in forever. I need to go and watch that one again because that one's pretty fun too. I don't think it was that bad. I think it was pretty weird.
No, it was
but
all right.
I wonder if it's as good as I remember because I haven't seen that in a long time.
I
What's
Yeah,
her
I think-
name was in that too?
Who?
Shawnee Smith.
okay. Yeah, see, I think the last time I watched that movie, I was like 15.
Mm,
So maybe I need another rewatch on that because I always liked it, the remake as well as the original. But thinking about it, I also used to like Captain America, that one that was out when I was a kid, and then I got older and watched it, and it really ruined my childhood for about a week.
Oh God. That
So I'm
was
so
bad.
glad that he didn't do that.
oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
was
that.
worse. See, stay away from the iconic
Mm-mm.
slashers. That's why, again, something
Oh,
like
that'd
the
been-
Blob would have been.
That would have been cool. But Freddy versus
Just get his
Jason,
pants off or something.
Oh
God,
God.
no.
Oh no.
God,
oh
no.
God, no. The more I think about it,
It makes honestly, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. Oh my God, no. That would have been, because we've discussed Freddy versus Jason is a damn good movie, right? We all agree on that, right?
Yes.
They couldn't have come out. Out of all the fucking scripts they had for it, this one, you know, the one they came up with was
The
the
way it
best.
could have been really any better is if Kane played Jason.
oh yeah.
Right.
That's
That's
true.
about
Right.
it.
Yeah, Rob Zombie doing that movie. Probably a big old stink fest. I think it would have been probably about as confusing as Jason Goes to Hell, even though I still like that movie. Fuck you guys. But but yeah, I'm so glad that didn't happen. Sherry Moon would come out the winner,
For
probably.
sure.
She would have killed them both.
Yeah, I think Pete Jackson was one of their first choices for directing it.
That wouldn't have been too bad though.
That would have been interesting. I don't know. It might not. It would have been a whole lot better if it was as long as it wasn't Rob Zombie. That's why we're glad that it wasn't Rob Zombie.
Ronnie Wu
Um,
was definitely a good choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He did a damn good job on that. Well, you know, it's actually that's a funny, fun little question here, real quick, because I know we're getting up on time, probably past time maybe, but what if Rob Zombie, no, you know, we know how he is with remakes, he loves doing them. What's a remake that he would do you don't think he would fuck up badly?
That's a good question, actually.
Mike, Rob, any input?
Because I've thought about that before, and there's a couple movies that I think that he would give an interesting take to. There was a movie that came out back in the
Scarface
60s.
would be interesting. I'm not saying do it, Rob. I'm not saying do it. I'm just thinking of movies.
God, that would be interesting. The question was, if Rob Zombie was to make a remake of your choice, what do you think? What do you think of remake he would do that wouldn't really fuck it up? Not saying he should do it. We're just saying what would be one that, like, okay, maybe he could probably not screw it up. There's a movie that came out in the 60s. It was a horror comedy called The Undertaker and His Pals. Very goofy ass movie. I don't know. Have either one of you all seen it?
Never heard of
it. Okay. It's about an Undertaker and his two two partners in crime that drive around motorcycles and they kill women, but they also have a diner, and like they kill a woman. Her last name is Lamb. So the special of the day is leg of lamb.
Oh no!
No, come back! Come back! It's always mid-story.
I know, right?
Assholes.
Class of 1999.
Be all right, maybe.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
I was thinking maybe House.
Ooh, House 2 especially.
Or
Well, I don't know. There's only, I don't know. You have to change some things.
maybe Troll. And he's gone.
Troll might be all right.
Let's see if he comes back. He's gonna come back in time for the credits. This has been like almost like an hour and a half.
Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
Do you see me?
Oh yeah.
See and hear.
Good. God damn. That's fucking annoying.
I said maybe House or Troll.
I could see House. I think he would do a good job with that one. I could see House on that one, definitely. Troll.
It would be interesting.
I think that movie's so bad. You mean Troll or Troll 2?
Just Troll.
Just Troll. But what if he did, even though they're not really related movies at all, just mix them both together? I'm sure he could probably do that. It would make sense.
Even he would, like, if he would try to do Troll and then do like another Troll 2, he would fuck that up somehow.
Yeah. Puppet Master. There's an
bad.
interesting one.
Yeah, it had to be like the older ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would like to see Rob Zombie remake The Evil Bong. That would be cool. An Evil Bong movie.
I didn't realize there's like fucking 10 of those fucking things out.
Yeah, I've got the first 3 or 4. Yeah.
And then they had Evil Bong versus Ginger Dead Man.
Oh, that was a funny one. Evil Bong versus King Bong. That's another one. Yeah, Tommy Chong's in all of them, I think.
No,
most of them.
Go backwards is Goblin. Oh no.
I don't know. I think that
he pisses on the food.
Yeah, like parts like that. You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
I'll have to tighten my belt one notch. I'm going to go to bed hungry.
I'm gonna say no on Phantasm because I love that movie franchise. Wishmaster, I would probably give him.
Yeah,
I'd say
see
Wishmaster,
that.
he'd probably be able to fuck with. But no, he better stay the fuck away from Phantasm.
Wishmaster would be fun
Yeah,
because I bet he could think of some pretty wacky stuff to throw in there.
My dad was watching Troll 2 today.
Really?
that's funny.
He was cracking the fuck up. It was great.
Movie is so
It's
ridiculous.
just so fucking bad. It's funny. I'm like, that's the point of watching it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a documentary about Troll 2 and the fandom that movie has. What the cult following that movie has. It's called the best worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah, like
documentary.
it's damn good actually. Like you feel kind of bad for some of the actors in it, but yeah, it's a good movie or a good documentary about a
The
really
dude
bad
was a
movie.
dentist. I think he was a children's dentist or something.
Yeah.
And the woman that played the wife was like the shut-in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great movie within itself.
Yeah.
We
Fucking-
recommend best worst movie.
Yeah, that's a good
And
doc.
Troll 2.
And Troll 2 if you've never seen it. Don't worry about Troll 1, but I mean watch that one too if you want. They have nothing to do with each other. And I also love the fact that the director, there's a part in the documentary where they get the director to talk about this movie, and he's like, I can't remember where he's from, but he didn't realize that his movie had a cult following because it sucks so bad. He thought that he was going to
you
be
made
interviewed about, like, no, he thinks it's an amazing movie, and he gets pissed off in it too, and shit. So I'm getting mad about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, interesting, but yeah, definitely. Video store clerks say, check it out.
Theater.
Oh gosh. Do we have any final thoughts on Rob Zombie before we close up the store for the evening?
Can't help but to love him.
Oh,
Not all of
I
his movies are
would
that great. What if Rob Zombie was announced to remake Monster Squad? I think I'd.
No.
Oh no, no! We're not. I think we've already. I was gonna say Frankenstein, and then we're actually getting what we're getting, and I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna not. We're not gonna do that.
What
Nope.
happened to him in Creature from the Black Lagoon? He talked about remaking that for years.
He needs a fucking updated version, I think.
It needs a good one. Yeah, me and my son watched those last year. We got him into watching those, and I was like, man, if somebody really badass came up with a good script and knew what they were doing, it could be a good fucking movie. Whatever happened to Baby Jane? You know what? I would give Rob Zombie that one. That movie is fucking disturbing, and I think Rob Zombie could probably. Have you ever seen that one? Oh God, that movie is something. It's something else. It's a pretty dark movie. Yeah, check it out. And that one I could definitely go with. That would be an interesting one. I would actually be willing to say Rob remake that movie.
Interesting. See, something
It's
like
a good
something
movie, but
that would play to his strengths. I think what else? That's an interesting question. This is going to bug me tonight. And something to keep him from casting fucking Sherry.
and, dude, it's the inevitable. Yep, Bay Davis, Joan Crawford, because it's a you gotta watch it. It's black and white, and it's pretty much about how fame can really fuck up a kid.
Yeah.
All the way to their old bitter.
They're
Interesting.
dead.
Yeah.
Whichever comes first.
Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, I think we're going to close up the store for the evening. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll have it fixed next time we join you. But before we go, Chuck Nasty, what do you got going on?
Let's see here. Fuck Cancer Metal Fest 11 is coming up on the 20. Well, it's the 23rd, 24th, 25th, I think maybe. We're playing on the 23rd. It's on Saturday, that weekend. I think it's the 23rd. We're playing with a lot of killer bands that we played with before in the past. Eulogy and Blood, they're badass. Kerr, which there's some guys that I haven't really heard from in a while. Granshaw, Artwork for the Blind, just a lot of friends, a lot more bands too. I mean, it's a 3-day, 2 or 3 day, it's a 3-day thing, and we're playing on Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But that's going to be in Lebanon Junction, Kentucky. And if you any kind of details you want, go to the Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat Facebook page. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, like all that shit's on there too. But yeah, we got that going on. And then we've got in August, we have a show opening, or we're opening up a show for our friends in the band Something Weird in Lexington, Kentucky at Fish Tank. They've got a record release party going on, record release show, and they've asked us to play. They're another two-piece band, except they're bass and drums. So, maybe some collaborations are in the works there.
There you go.
Yeah, so that'd be fun. Check out Something Weird. They're Something Weird, and they're killer. And the information's on. I think that's on the 26th of August, maybe. I could be wrong. So again, check us out at Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat on Facebook, and that'll tell you all that shit on there. And then we've been working on new stuff. Been doing recordings. We've been working on some probably the most brutal music we've probably ever played, that we've ever come up with. It's pretty badass. So we're excited to be working on that and getting some of those songs taken care of, get them recorded, and get that shit out. And then what else? Oh, I still have a comic book out. Tales of Shock and Terror on from the other podcast that I do all the time on Saturdays. Tales from the Podcast Last 2G1C with my buddy JB, which he's actually the main host of the show. I'm just the co-host. But yeah, you can just check us out. Go to our actual website, talesfromthepodcast.com, I think. I don't know if the /2G1C's in there. And I'll give you all the information on that shit. You can order a copy. There you go. Thanks for the support, guys. So we still got that going on as well. There was something else, but it seems to have slipped my mind.
Oh, that's okay. It happens to the best of us.
To the best.
Busy
True that.
man.
The store will actually be closed next week for renovations.
Yes.
Oh, really?
And we'll have a whole new look the week after. Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy! Oh
So we'll
boy!
be back on the 27th.
27th is the
Oh,
date. All right. So in the
Okay.
meantime, make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hey, send us your feedback. What kind of shows would you like to see? What top 3 lists would you like to see? What would you like to have recommended by your humble, honest video store clerks?
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
yeah. Thanks, Rob. Have a good night, man.
All right. And with that in mind, we're going to close up the store for tonight. We are your video store clerks. I'm Dave.
Chat.
Chuck.
Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for watching and listening. And good night.
It's not a legacy I want to leave behind, but I am Chuck Nasty. How the fuck am I out of whiskey already?
This shit can't be any fucking good.
Welcome to the store.